lastly, I'm going to give you this long list of committees that I serve on, and I'll tell you why I think that's important. I'm serving on the City Council from 2002 to 2006. I am the current chairman of the Water and Sewer Authority, Douglasville, Douglas County. So that services the entire community, 130 people, 130,000 people in the community. I'm the only woman, I'm the only African American, and I'm the chair of that committee. I'm the vice chair of the Board of Elections. Every time we have an election that comes through, I sit on that. I oversee all the elections in the community, in the county. So for our state representatives, our House of Representatives, our congressmen, our senators, our president, I'm sitting in the room while the votes are being counted, and I'm the vice chair of that committee. I serve on the board of directors for the West Georgia Technical Colleges. There are 8 colleges in that system: Truth County, LaGrange, Meriwether, Douglas, Paulding, Carroll, and I'm the first African American on there, the only woman, the only African American currently on that board of directors. Wellstar Regional Health Board, Paulding, Carroll, Cobb, and Douglas. All the imaging centers, all the hospitals, Kennestone, Cobb, Douglas, I'm on that board. I serve there with Henry. Board of directors for the Douglasville, Douglas County, Cultural Arts, dealing with the arts of the community. I was a PTA president for 2 years and a member of the zoning board of the city. Now, why I think that's important is because I was elected by the people, and after election, I got pregnant, and Carl knew. He came by, and so every time he sees me, that's his milestone. He says, "Look at that baby." So we celebrated. My husband and I celebrated too much of me. I got pregnant. So I said, well, I'm going to leave the council after my term, and I'll just sit at home until my daughter gets to school. Well, it's like the mafia. When you get out, they just want to pull you. So I went to start working in the school system, and then I was asked to serve on the zoning board. So the mayor and council of the city put me on the zoning board. And then the board of commissioners asked me to go to the Water and Sewer Authority. Then the Superior Court Judge James, put me on the Board of Elections. Then the Wellstar Regional Health Board, I was there by the chamber. So I think all those positions are important because it shows that I can work with the community. We're not an island. We cannot survive as the city of Douglasville, that we just mark out our territory and stay here and say, no one else is coming in, we're just going to take care of ourselves. We need to reach our hands across lines with the Board of Education, with the Board of Commissioners, with the hospital, everywhere. We need help so that we can come together. And that's my vision for the city. I stand with experience, with leadership and compassion. I know how it is not to have, because I've been in situations where I didn't have. Well, they didn't pay my husband for 9 months at the church, and we just had to make it work. So I understand when someone says my home is getting ready to go in foreclosure, because I was looking and praying like, Lord, they better pay the brother soon. I know he's working at Coca-Cola, he's bivocational, but we depended on that little check. So those are things I understand. I understand that when you send your kid to a school, and the school has not met the annual yearly progress in 8 years. I understand that my tax dollars may not be the same as someone else who's making 6 figures, but my tax dollars has a voice. So I want the schools to be equitable across the board. I understand that, so that's why I've taken my son out of the school that didn't meet and put him in a school that is doing well, because I have 3 children. God has blessed us to have 3 children that are all program challenge kids. They're all on the Exceed, Excellent, Challenge, very academically smart. The son is in the band, he's on the swim team, he's on the baseball team, the girls are in gymnastics, they do very well. And I, as a parent, it's my responsibility to provide for them the best that I can. And if I can't afford Christian schools or the charter schools, then my public schools need to meet me where I am and do their job. And so my platform really is for the economy. I've talked with Chris Colliers, who is the Home Builders Association president for Douglas County. He has a program called Piece by Piece. And so they said they helped to get us in this situation with the banks, so they feel responsible to try to get us out. So talking with the Home Builders Association, not just slamming the door in their faces, but putting out a hand and saying, come and help us, show us some programs that you got us into these predatory lending situations. So help us to get out, show us where we can build our finances back, help us not to lose our homes. Law enforcement, I have a background started out in the Army National Guard out of high school. That paid for college at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, was my basic training. And I went on from there through college and was recruited by the CIA. So I have a strong law enforcement background. And I was public safety chair for 4 years on city council. So I'm very serious about law enforcement. We need to be safe in our homes. And it doesn't matter where you call, north, south, east, west, downtown, tributary, the police need to be there because we're paying our tax dollars. So I'm very serious about law enforcement. Concerns for our parks and recreations. We need to do something to keep these kids off the street, to tell them that we love them so you can pull your pants up. I don't know if I will be bold enough. I want to do it, to step on and say, I understand you have rights and you want to express yourself, but can we have an ordinance that follows what the school says? The school says you need to tuck your shirt in your pants. And not, I don't want to see your underwear. So maybe in the city of Douglasville, if we have the courage, we can set an ordinance to say, like the city of Atlanta started to say, pull your pants up. I'm not afraid because I want our kids to know that we're very serious about their education. And we want parks and recreation things for them to do, places for them to go, so that they won't hang out in the streets and have a bad road. Educational opportunities for the people, help building businesses downtown and throughout the city. We're losing Borders. That was in the newspaper. Borders has been filed bankruptcy and it's going away. My daughter Olivia is devastated. We received the paper every day and she read the paper and said, "Oh no, Borders is leaving. What am I going to do?" Now this is the 4th grader who was reading on the 8th grade level, who received the Dr. Haskell Award 4 times, received financial compensation, so she knows how serious reading is. At Christmas, everyone else wanted PS3, something else, Barbie doll you want to cut. She wanted a poem. So she's downloading books. This little girl is upset about Borders. We need to go out and try to recruit another Barnes & Noble, someone else to fill up those boxes. It's a shame to have 200 spaces in the city alone that are empty. We need to bring economic development because that engine will help drive up your economy and help to bring us together. And getting along, my last point is getting along with other governmental agencies. I talked about that earlier. It's been such an attitude of, it's mine, I'm here with the Board of Commissioners, or I'm with the Board of Education, or I'm in the police department. We need to come together and not worry so much about who has territory where, but to service the people because we all share community services. We all have our tax dollars in the pot. The city is part of the county. I'm not talking about consolidation, but I think we should be able to come together and talk. I have great friends on the Board of Commissioners. I see the chairman every other week on the Water and Sewer Authority. Henry is a very good friend of mine, Henry Mitchell, Commissioner Kelly. I know Mike Mulcair. So I don't have a problem in talking to our Board of Commissioners, our House of Representatives. I know Bill Hembry, of course, a representative here, Roger Bruce, Donzella James, David Scott. I just went to his office last month to talk to him about the Second Chance program with Judge Caldwell, with people that have been offenders and coming back into the community, getting jobs. So I just think we need to come together, and that has not been what's happened in the past. We really sat on an island and tried to really isolate ourselves, but we need to open up so that we can survive. So those are my platforms. My vision really is to bring us together, and I think united we stand, divided we'll certainly fall. We need to come together as a people, come together, and not just if I live in Stewart's Creek at Chapel Hills, or Chapel Hills in the Links, or Chapel Hills on Rosemont, or I live in Ashworth, or Stone Creek, or Arbor Station. We're all in the same community. I may not be across the street from you, but because I have the same services and we're sharing from the same pie, we're neighbors in that sense. We're community. We live together. We have to act as a community. So I'm here trying to have a bridge and be the bridge that we can come over to come together. You know, I'm really excited about it because I believe it's more than just political for me. I really believe this is the call. Now, if God doesn't put me there, I'm fine because I've done what He said for me to do, which is to run. But I think it's more than just this physical. I think it's spiritual too. You know, one day I worked by the billboard that they have up for me, and I just started start crying because I said, Lord, these are your people. I said, you said if your people that are called by your name would humble themselves and pray and turn from the wicked ways, you will heal the land. I said, God, please heal our land. So I pray for the city all the time. I pray for the citizens in the city for us to make it, and I believe that we can. And it will matriculate from the city to the county, to the region, to the state, and we won't be last on the last tier when it comes to education, on the last tier, fifth in the state for foreclosures. We'll build ourselves up if we just have hope. And I hope that I'm here to instill some hope in you, and excited to do that. Now we have a lot of literature that we brought today. I have a bullet about some of my service, my husband told me to make it short, a long version. There is a city map up that will show you all the territory of the city. And I have until October 11th, you can still sign up to vote. If you have no people that aren't registered to vote, we have applications there in the back that you can take until October the 11th. And you can be, I'm trying to think of the dates for, until November the 4th, I think. I have the dates in the back for early voting, so I have early voting registration forms. If you're not going to be in town, but you can apply